Good morning, everyone. It is about 9 o'clock on I would say, a beautiful Sunday morning on the Yorkshire coast. It's not as beautiful as we would like. It's a bit hazy, but that haze is actually not natural. It's a big fire going over the moors. The firefighters have it mostly under control, but it's still producing a lot of smoke. Ravenscar over there in the distance and where I am, Robin Hood's Bay, are a bit hazy and smoky at the minute, but shouldn't hinder us too much when it comes to fossil hunting. What will hinder us is all this weed that you see in the foreground, but I'm hoping that it's all just collected here, and as we get around that way, we might start to find some things and not have too much weed on the ground. I'm not going to have a super long time out. I have been given permission by my wife to get out, but our child is teething, and so I will be getting back fairly quickly. So the goal is to get to Shipwreck, have a good hunt all the way up and around and back, and see what we can find. Hopefully a few nice ammonites on the way, and maybe a starfish if we're exceptionally lucky. But let's stop yapping and start finding. This is fairly typical for the material we're walking over at the minute. You'll see lots and lots of shells. This area is highly fossiliferous for bivalves, belemnites, that sort of thing. But the ammonites are a little rarer, and it's part of the reason we don't come to Robin Hood's Bay as much as some of the other locations. But geologically speaking, Robin Hood's Bay is very interesting. It's a little outcropping of lower and middle lias that's formed a dome between upper lias material both towards Saltwick and Ravenscar, and so we get this little pocket of much older material sandwiched between these other sections, and it means a lot of hunters come here looking for things that they would otherwise have to travel quite a long way north towards sort of Staithes, Skinning Grove, Bulby sections for similar material of similar ages, in Yorkshire at least. But it does put a lot of pressure on the area. It means that fossils from here beside the bivalves, so the things like the ammonites and anything else like brittle stars, if you're incredibly lucky, are highly sought after and therefore incredibly hard to find. And so we tend to not come here that often because I like finding fossils that I can take home and show off to you. And unfortunately that means that a lot of the stuff we are going to see today we're not going to be collecting, but we come here in the hope that we might find something far more exciting. That being said, all of the area that we are walking over is SSSI protected, so no hammering in the bedrock, no being near the cliffs. The summer does not make it safer to be near the cliffs, although there's always a lot of tourists over towards Boggle Hole in the centre of the bay who hang out far too close to the cliffs, and we live in hope that it doesn't come back to bite them in the butt with cliff falls. So we live in hope, and I hope that you all learn and avoid doing something silly like being near the cliffs, even in summer. Right, enough babbling whilst I wander over lots of rocks and avoid trying to slip. This gives you a bit of an idea of the diversity of finds you might get. So we've got belemnites here, tusk shells that always confuse me with starfish legs, so I spend far too long looking at them. And we've got another block next to it with this ammonite there and there. Those we will not be digging out because I think those will shatter looking at their preservation. So we'll leave them. And then, yeah, blocks next to it full of shells. We will keep looking for something more collectible though. And some of the other things you see a lot of here in Robin Hood's Bay are devil's toenails. That's what all of these special looking oysters are in a bed called Gryphea, devil's toenails. And because they kind of look like toenails of a devil if you have a wild imagination. And there's bits of plant material through this as well. It's lovely, lovely stuff. Honestly, I do like walking around in Robin Hood's Bay just because there's such a diversity of finds. Just obviously wish I could pick up a lot more of the ammonites. But there's one in particular I'm after today. I call them Amaltheus. They've got lovely keels. I've got a friend who seems to find them on a regular basis. We got to get a bit further around before there's a chance of finding one of those. But whilst we go, we keep looking for everything else. And this is arguably the biggest challenge of fossil hunting in Robin Hood's Bay, is that all those perfect shaped nodules that anywhere else on the coast would be filled with Lovely ammonites tend to be very septarian, so they're filled with these sort of calcite veins that run through them. Septarian nodules, sometimes known as lightning stones in parts of the States, particularly around the Great Lakes. They're no good to us. If you find a fossil in them, they tend to be heavily distorted. But if you don't look, you don't find. A lovely bivalve when it focuses in. That's pretty. As I meander around the rocks, it's a good time just to remind people that if you're not finding something, but you're taking a nice easy walk, that probably is why you're not finding anything. Is if you're doing it because it's easy, someone almost certainly will have done it in the past before you. And unless you are there straight after a storm, I am most certainly not being in midsummer and actually in the middle of a bank holiday, you are likely to be walking over somewhere that someone has walked not too long ago. And so keep mixing up your path, keep zigzagging through the slightly more difficult bits as long as it's safe to do so, and your odds of finding something are likely to go up a touch. Ooh, someone with a nice negative, so someone's had something. Keep looking. A big chunk of ammonite that someone has exploded. It's very explodey. But I might just tap it because I'm curious what it is. I don't know my ammonites from this area particularly well, so I'll take any chance to have a look at some of them to see what the hell they are. Even after fraying out the keel. Absolutely no idea what it is. But that is the joy of this area. Very much an amateur. Not had much to show off for you, but that's quite a nice little ammonite. Squished, unfortunately, in the rock it's in, so the middle's not great, but yeah, something to show off. There's still a couple of people who've gone past me who I think are headed around to the next sections, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to try and rush the tide, although the tide is quite a big one today and it would be safe to do so. I'm not going to. I'd like to see if we can find something around here. It's what we're playing with so far, is what I thought was a perfect amaltheus nodule. I think I might be right that it is. It's just that the size of the amaltheus is teeny tiny, but alas. A really lovely bit of seafloor there with a bunch of different bivalves, very scallopy thing, a belemnite in the top right. Yeah, lovely piece. And also something else just to show you whilst we're here. These U-shaped structures, they're burrows, probably caused by shrimp. So something a bit different in amongst all of these oyster beds, and this is where I'm looking for my starfish, because I live in hope that there might be one here. Yeah, something you don't see every day. Little caterpillar crawling around down on the beach. Must have fallen down with a little slide. Nice looking pleuro, except it's flat. Shame. Nicest thing I've found all day. Someone enjoying a bit of fishing, hopefully having a bit more luck than I. It is a lovely day though. You can still see the sort of the cloudy murk across the bay. Smoke still coming off the moors, but lovely day. A big old chunky branch eroding out of the bedrock. Nice to see. I was very much hoping this might be the first brittle star bits I've seen today, but I think they're actually just crinoids based on the broken bits. There's a bit here which looks like it has an arm branch, and there's lots of bits going around the rest of the rock. Alas, not what we're looking for. Yeah, finally something semi-reasonable. A big old pleural block that I've exploded into lots of pieces that are up there, down there, all over. But from that, got a few bits that I actually might take home. So there's one in here which wraps around, and I'm pretty sure that's the same keel. So that should be all right. And in this block, there's a big keel here and a decent size there, which I don't believe are the same one, looking at the angles. And there's a bit more of another one here. So there's a few big-ish ones in there. Whether any of them are complete is another question, but I've got not much else in the bag, so why not? Another little ammonite keel sticking out there. Oh, probably won't tap that because that will almost certainly explode, but yeah, we'll see. I suspect it's an androg of some description. And a nice little I'm assuming an androg again, but in a big old block, so that'll probably just stay. Yeah, so that's going to wrap us up, I think. I'm pretty much back at the ramp and it's very busy, so I'm going to avoid all the people whilst we do this. Yeah, I was told very early by Mark Smith that if you're out hunting things like bone, you need to not focus on any ammonites whatsoever and expect to be disappointed on most of your hunts. That way you have your highest odds of finding a good fossil or a rare fossil, but it does mean you'll have days where you don't find very much, and I would say this has been one of those sort of days. Haven't found very much, but definitely not the worst. Still got a few bits of the bag, but sadly no brittle stars and no spectacular ammonites, but that's how it goes. So we'll be out again, hopefully fairly soon, but I can't guarantee when. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.